Today's Wednesday, May 21st, 2014. You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show. The Elevator Radio Show is a proud supporter of the Elevator Escalator Safety Foundation. To find out how you can make a difference, visit their website today at www.eesf.org. Hey, we got a short show today for you, but there are some good stories on the show. Definitely worthy of commenting on. So stay tuned. Here it comes.
You're tuned in to the Elevator Radio Show, a weekly program dedicated to covering news and information on elevators, escalators, and moving walkways. Produced in the wee hours of the morning, a new show is uploaded every Wednesday, sometimes even before you get out of bed. Listen to some of the comments sent in from our audience.
Rob from New York writes, Tom, are you f***ing insane? You actually get up at 2 a.m. each Wednesday to put this show out? Man, you must love elevators. Tim from Illinois writes, I'm not sure why I listened, but ever since I tuned into the first show back in 2007, I've been addicted. Matt in Texas writes, I like your safety messages, Tom. It's important to remember them each and every day. And he also adds,
when am I going to win the monthly prize pack giveaway?
Ron from California sent this in. Despite your inability to pronounce words in the English language, I tune in each week and am glad that you offer this service to the industry. It's better than Google News alerts. Sarah from Washington writes, love the show, Tom, and look forward to it each week. I'm glad I signed up for the newsletter. You provide a valuable resource for the industry, not only for North America, but worldwide.
Enjoy the show. And now, here's your sleep-deprived host, Tom Seibert.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Yes, I am Tom Seibert, and I am the host of the Elevator Radio Show. It is good to be here this Wednesday morning, where I, like all of you here in the United States, are probably looking forward to an extended weekend where we have 3 days off. Well, not really 3, 2 days off, and then we have Monday as the holiday, Memorial Day holiday. And as I do each and every year, I do encourage you all to share your stories of family members who have served in the military, who have perhaps long gone or have passed in defending our freedom, with your families and friends. There's never enough remembrance when we start thinking back of those that served a great country. So make sure you share those stories as you're tossing back a cold one on Monday, Sunday, or Saturday, or any of those days. Share it with your friends, your family. Make sure that those memories stay alive as long as they possibly can be, because we don't want to forget. We never want to forget. And for those of you who have served in the military and for our great country and our freedom, thank you for doing so. Greatly appreciate that. We are all indebted to you all, whether you have served during wartime, during conflict time, during whatever time. We greatly appreciate that. Anyway, yeah, got a good show today. There was as many of you already know, there was an accident that occurred at Fenway Park. So that pretty much took over most of the news, and actually some pretty good articles on the program that kind of linked and cross-linked to that. Unfortunately, none of them are really addressing the kind of the 3,000-pound gorilla in the room in terms of what may have happened. They're not really getting into that detail, but we'll get into that later on in the show. So always send your email comments to elevatorradioshow@gmail.com. And I promise to get back to you as quickly as I can on those. So anyway, let's, without further ado, I'm not going to get the email comments because I just haven't had a chance to get through those. Personal side, in terms of family, my oldest son is finishing up volleyball, so that should make life a little bit easier in terms of getting up a little bit earlier. It's been a little tough in terms of just being able to get in on Wednesday mornings, because sometimes Tuesdays are late with games and stuff like that. So kind of looking forward to kind of getting back into my swing of things here on the program. So without further ado, let's get into the news content of the program. We might have you out of here in even a better record time. And just as a reminder, if you have not already gotten over to the website, and if you're watching the video right now, I don't know how blurry it is. If you're not getting the emails anymore, you have to go over to elevatorradioshow.com and click on the subscribe to blog via email link, and that is basically over on the right-hand column. And you just enter your email address there and you hit subscribe, and as soon as the show has been posted, you'll get that in your inbox automatically. So that's the best way of keeping in touch with the program and the show, and as always, I greatly appreciate those of you who have tuned in. So appreciate that. So up next, we'll get right into the news and perhaps have you out of here in another record show. So up next, news.
Let this week's news stories give you a lift on what's happening in the vertical transportation arena. Each news segment is organically dug and fresh with news stories of the week. Got lift? If not, stay tuned.
Okay, first news article of the program. MissionLocal.com, a news lab for everyone, is reporting that escalator at 24th Street BART, and that's in San Francisco, is out until end of June, which, in all honesty, I don't think that seems like such a long extended period of time. Hopefully they have an elevator there that will help them out, but they did close it down apparently due to several steps crashed together at the top of the escalator, shredding the gearbox. So pretty substantial, obviously pretty substantial incident that occurred there, and glad that nobody was hurt. Big article of the show is obviously apparently a woman was hospitalized after falling 2 floors in a Fenway ballpark in Boston, their elevator shaft. Now this is just the beginning of the article tracking link here. That was the first article, pretty much kind of like just a tweet that kind of covered that, and lots of articles that kind of popped up. Next one was elevator door damage looked at in Fenway Park Fall, and police, and this is coming from the Associated Press, also MassLive.com. This is state officials say extreme force against the bottom of the elevator door at Fenway Park may have led to the fall of a woman down an elevator shaft last week, and apparently Executive Office of Public Safety and Security Spokesman Terry Harris tells the Boston Globe the finding was the force was preliminary. Investigators are still conducting their review. Anyway, it'll be interesting. Hopefully, as this kind of progresses, it doesn't become a witch hunt. But between that litigation, I'm sure that there's going to be more information on that. So there's a couple of investigative reports that I'm going to play here. If I can shut the video down before the ad starts to play, I will try to do that. I called it, I've got a new name for these I-Team investigative reporters and reports. I call them idiot teams because 9 times out of 10, they covered these articles in such mass hysteria that they really they truly do not hit the essence of what perhaps should be hit. So let me play this and see if we can. I'm gonna just mute it. And then the commercial's going to play, so let's just bear with me one moment here as this does their commercial, and then we'll get right into the Idiot Team investigative report. Here we go, I think.
Team has learned that the elevator involved in an accident at Fenway has had problems in the past.
Oh boy.
A young woman fell into an elevator shaft when the doors opened up on Friday night. I-Team reporter Joe Shortsleeve has uncovered new information about how she may have fallen in.
Okay, so let me just back up for 1 minute. They don't clarify exactly how the doors may have opened. They just say they opened. So that would make some people believe that perhaps they opened on their own, somebody walked in, and there you were. What makes it worse is if you click on the link, it says I-Team Fenway elevator doors forced off their hinges. There's no hinges on doors. What the hell are you talking about on elevator doors? Unless they're swing doors. Anyway, yeah, I love these. Just love them. Let me continue.
To say that this was not an issue per se with the doors.
No, it was not an issue with the doors. The doors were functioning properly.
The Commissioner of Public Safety says there was nothing wrong with the elevator doors at Fenway Park Friday night. That's when a 22-year-old woman fell 2 stories from the 4th floor elevator shaft, landing on top of an elevator on the 2nd floor. State inspectors suggested today the elevator doors were somehow smashed open with a force greater than 225 pounds.
The slides that hold that door in place and prevent it from swinging open like a pendulum were actually broken and bent backwards. And those are metal sections that hold that in place.
Lizzie Scotland of New Jersey, who had just graduated from Boston University, was with her father when she fell Friday night. The plunge knocked her unconscious. She was taken to Beth Israel Hospital. Her family and the hospital would not return calls today. The police report reviewed by the I-Team refers to a disturbance. Police say they were alerted by Fenway Park security personnel of a potential disturbance in the vicinity of the Gate B elevator. On the way there, police were informed an individual may have fallen in an elevator shaft at Fenway Park. It's unclear if the disturbance preceded the young woman's fall or was the result. The I-Team obtained this inspection report from that elevator from February 7th. It was cited for non-compliance, but not deemed a safety hazard. Inspectors found emergency equipment, including a phone, a bell, and a light, all out of order. They scheduled a follow-up for late June. Now, the Red Sox say there's no video of the incident, so tonight we don't know exactly what happened outside that elevator. In the meantime, the state says the elevator will remain shut down until it's repaired and re-inspected. Paula?
Joe Shortsleeve, thank you.
All right, so yeah. All right, here's another video. Maybe it's a link. Here we go. Yeah. Okay. Now this video kind of leads to another idiot team response where the title of it is elevator inspections still lag in Massachusetts, and listen to the very end of this article. Okay, listen to it, because this is where the idiot team ceases really to go into greater detail of perhaps maybe what might be the problem when it comes to inspections in Massachusetts, not only Massachusetts, but also in any state across the good old US of A. So, yeah, it's just, so listen to it, and I'll just kind of recap. Let me get through this 15-second commercial real quick, and we'll do that. So, again, they're missing the point on this whole thing, and that's kind of concerning to some extent. So, we will play in about 3 seconds. All right.
The family of the woman who fell down an elevator shaft at Fenway Park is thanking everyone for their support and asking for privacy. Lizzie Scotland graduated from
Asking for privacy so they can contact their attorneys and start the litigation process. Oops, that was a thought bubble.
EU School of Management on Friday, and she fell hours later when she was leaving Fenway. In a statement today, her family writes they appreciate, quote, the many expressions of concern and support that have come from the Boston community and the Red Sox organization. Lizzie continues to receive medical and surgical care and attention. Her condition is serious and her prognosis is uncertain. Investigators don't know yet why Lizzie Scotland fell down that elevator shaft. The elevator was last inspected in January. But the I-Team has learned that right now the state auditor is reviewing the way the state inspects elevators. Chief Correspondent Joe Shortsleeve has been looking into this, and he's learned that 1 in every 4 elevators isn't getting inspected. That issue came to the fore after the accident Friday night at Fenway.
I just wonder, do you think they could clarify exactly what that means? 1 out of every 4 elevators is not getting inspected. Does that mean that they are late? Does it mean they're over? You know, what does that mean? Does it mean they never get looked at? You know, you figure from the, mainstream media, they'd be able to actually kind of detail, provide some more facts. But I guess when they got to put together a 2-minute, 30-second, piece like this is all they can do.
Doing quite a lot to ensure safety at Fenway in every way, shape, or form.
The president of the Red Sox, Larry Lucchino, referring to what happened last Friday night when a woman fell down an elevator shaft after the door to it was somehow smashed open.
I can't comment on this elevator matter because there's our safety inspections and other investigations going on right now.
Elevator safety continues to be an important topic statewide. In 2010, the state auditor found thousands of elevators were not being inspected in a timely manner. Today, the Commissioner of Public Safety tells the I-Team there has been some improvement.
Overall, we're in pretty decent shape. Back when I took over, we were back at about 40%. We've increased that, as I said, to about 75% compliance.
So are you happy where we are today?
No, I'll be happy when we're at 100%.
Well, I think they've been trying, but I don't think they've been trying hard enough.
Senator Richard Moore has pushed for...
Well, that's easy to say, isn't it? Trying hard enough. I love that. Anyway, but listen to this last comment. And when these interviews happen, you got to realize that what is picked out of the interview itself, 9 times out of 10, the important stuff is not put into the piece. So let's listen.
More inspectors and more funding to ensure safer...
More inspectors and more funding. That's probably a good idea, right? Let me just back that up real quick.
Senator Richard Moore has pushed for more inspectors and more funding to ensure safer elevators and escalators. He remembers 3 years ago when a young boy was killed in an escalator accident at the Auburn Mall. The family sued and won, claiming it was dangerous and defective. Moore wonders why 1 in every 4 elevators is still not getting inspected on schedule.
There should be practically 0 or very close to it in order to make sure that the public can be confident that this equipment is safe to use.
Hey, let's give Richard a response, okay? I don't know what the current state is in Massachusetts. I'd love to hear from you, though. Anybody who would like to basically Share their feedback anonymously or whatever. I've got no problem with that at all. Let me know what the status is currently in Massachusetts. Okay, why is it that 1 out of 4 elevators is not being inspected on time or within the time frame? Is it because of A, the number of inspectors that are out there, or B, well, actually, it would pretty much just link up to that A. So, and the time that it takes to do an inspection, you know what I mean? I mean, let me know. I'd love to hear from you, because if our senator friend needs a response, that and I give him credit for pushing for safety in terms of trying to get more inspectors. I'm obviously I'm not a huge fan of big government or government stepping in to do to overshadow our lives, but at the same time, if the idiot team is going to do some investigative reporting, put some details on the page or in this piece that identify how long it takes to do an inspection, how many inspectors there are, feasibly how many they can do in a day, the number of elevators that require reinspection. Throw all that information into the equation and see really truly where the state of Massachusetts is. I'd love to hear from you on that. Love to hear from you.
And get this, inspection regulations are getting weaker, not stronger. Fines for late inspections have been drastically reduced.
I wonder
on
why.
Beacon Hill. There's even a provision where they can
Hey.
be done away with entirely.
Why? How do you think that happened? How do you think that elevator inspection? It's crazy. I'm telling you. Yeah.
For the I-Team, Joe Short,
Again.
WBZ News.
Mr. Shoestrap, or whatever your name is, shoe sleeve, short sleeve. Go further into detail here. Come on, do some digging. I know this piece took you probably a day and a half, maybe. Let's get into some better, deeper details here. All right, love to hear from you. Don't come to me. Don't ask me. Don't send me an email. But I love to find out a little bit more. As long as you're on the elevator inspection, media train for Massachusetts, come on, bring it all to the table. Let's get a little bit deeper in here instead of just giving the general writing public, basically just little bits and pieces of information that they probably cannot make a really good, educated It's early yet, so excuse me. I've only had 3 cups of coffee. An educated inference on or whatnot. So anyway, love to hear from Mr. Shoestring. Or I'd love to hear more. That would be about it. So anyway, and the last article here that we're going to cover, and I actually think the director's, the director of safety.
The reason I would refer to Tufts Medical Center is that
all right. Hopefully nobody has to go to Tufts Medical Center. I mean, the accident is terrible. It's really bad. I mean, obviously the woman's probably going to have some serious medical issues in the future, and I feel bad for her. But something happened where she, fell through the elevator doors at a force that bent the gibs or the gib brackets beyond what they should have been bent at. So, and so that's the reality. And can leaning up against the doors have done that? Maybe. I don't know. It would be. You hope that at some point somebody's going to take a step forward and say, "This is what happened." Whether it was her or not is a whole other story. But the reality is that maybe someday we're going to have to get to the point where we're putting big ass, vinyl printed signs on elevators that say "Do not touch" or "Do not lean up against." Or, I mean, at some point we might get to that. I hope not. But and those of you inspecting elevators and working on to make sure that the bottom door guides and gibs and whatnot are all in good shape. It's huge. I mean, you can have the best door gib in the world and have the bottom of the door rusting out. So there's some issues with that. And if you as a contractor need to literally send this article to your customers noting that, hey, this is the kind of work you need to do to prevent this from happening, it's a good idea to do that. So, the investigation on the above, again, it's just more of a police report indicating, basically that, they're looking at the doors. So, unfortunately, litigation will take over, and we won't hear any more from this in the future. And hopefully the state of Massachusetts basically just stands their ground and say, listen, this is what happened, and there were no issues at play and no violations other than emergency light phone, et cetera, that were not considered life-saving safety issues, and the elevator could run on its own. But anyway, so you can read about that. Link is in the show notes. Love to hear your comments. elevatorradioshow@gmail.com. Okay, Antique Shepherd Home Lift Elevator video. This is a cool video. It scares the hell out of me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I'm not going to play it because there's a video commercial in there. But check it out. Diesel Doozy has uploaded this. It's really unique. It's a home elevator. Scares the crud out of me. It's got a sign that says employees do not use elevator. Mainly there's no gate. There's doors on the inside. I'm like, oh man, it's like crazy. I can see why they wouldn't want employees to use it, because I think that would definitely be something the workers' comp would not want to see. So yeah, a little scary, but kind of cool to say the least. So, okay, SNL or Saturday Night Live mocks up elevator fight that occurred between Jay-Z and Hooly Girl or whatever. Again, this thing, I cannot believe that we even care as a world enough at all. This video has been released online. The person that leaked it from the hotel was fired from the hotel, and if you want to check this out, you can. But it's, again, don't we have bigger things to worry about rather than two, prima donna singers fighting in an elevator? Jeez, I mean, come on, unbelievable. Shame on you, media. If we, if we only put as much effort into covering articles like that online, or through mainstream media, on actually important things, man, our country be in so much better shape. So much better shape. Crazy. Okay, this is an article that occurred, actually got a severe weather alert here too, which is...
Did you know Charter Internet is 10 times faster than...
We don't have Charter here. Anyway, but apparently a mysterious lady in white was seen in an Illinois elevator. Let's check this out for those of you out there that believe in ghosts and supernatural kind of things. You might enjoy this. So,
Coronado, then the elevator, and they just keep going up and down.
It's a call recorded by Rockford Scanner that even baffled Rockford police officers at first. A woman looking for answers as to why this elevator in a Rockford parking garage kept going up and down just like it is now. But last night, something was different that prompted a police call. A mysterious passenger on board.
She can see through the glass. It looks to be a person wearing all white inside the elevator.
A ghostly description taking place right across the street from a notorious Rockford spooky spot, the Coronado Theater.
I'm kind of skeptical when I first hear stories because, as you can imagine, I hear a lot of stories.
But Haunted Rockford tour guide Kathy Kressel says the description of a lady in white actually has some validity.
It sounded an awful lot like the woman in white that's supposedly seen at the Coronado. So that led me to believe that maybe something could possibly be there.
Kressel says the Coronado is full of ghosts.
Great. The Van Meters owned the building, and they really loved this building, and I think that that's why they're supposed to be still there.
Smoking cigarettes or dancing on stage. But little is known about the lady in white, which is why Kressel says she might be willing to move across the street.
I don't think a ghost is necessarily tied to one place.
But even if she was hanging out in the elevator, she wasn't the one making it go up and down.
The second elevator just went from the 7th floor to the basement. Door never opened, nobody got off. Seems to be malfunctioning.
Mystery solved. Or is it?
Huh? Anyway, yeah, I'm not a big firm believer in ghosts, although I do believe that there's probably something out there that's, I don't know, beyond what I envision things being like after death. Okay, DallasNewsBusiness.com reporting elevator firm Kone consolidating operations in Allen, Texas. Man, don't you remember the days when when Montgomery was in McKinney? It's always a kind of a neat project. I was actually out there a couple times. I miss those days. I miss those days. It just seemed like just kind of a cooler time in our industry when, you could actually see the products that were being built and allocated for projects and stuff like that. And anyway, there's more information on that in the show notes, but obviously things change over time. So Modern Etiquette, BrainerdDispatch.com has an article written by Mary Mitchell talking about, it's actually a repost from Reuters, Reuters, whatever you want to call it. Earlier today, nearly got flattened by someone getting on the elevator car I was trying to leave. Ouch. Knocking heads with a total stranger is an awkward conversation starter at the best. Thus, it is time to review the mindset and mechanics of doors, elevators, and escalators, and so here it goes. So here's some good etiquette. Obviously, it would have been nice if some safety information was covered in it. It was not. I think 9 times out of 10, the issue is our phones that we're looking at, that we're typing on, that we're checking out. I've literally almost, walked into poles before because I've been on it walking outside. So yeah, we have to put them away. Not to say that this was the reason for what happened, but still, let's put them away when we don't really need them. We've seemed to have become way too tied to them, regardless. Okay, Doug at GAL, it's got a nice little recap of the Canadian Elevator Contractors Association last week up in Quebec. Glad everybody had a great time, and thank you for covering that. More information, check that out. Link is in the show notes. Elevator newly opened monument stops. WashingtonPost.com reporting that temporarily the elevator did strand visitors, or it was stalled on the upper level. Everything was okay shortly afterwards, and which is obviously a good thing and not a big deal whatsoever. Elevator World Unplugged has got a cool blog post regarding the 10 best skyscrapers around the world and in the future. So this is an article talking about the history of the world's most extraordinary. I guess you could say it that way too, right? Anyway, recently sat down with USA Today to share their opinion of the best skyscrapers across the globe. So that article link is actually in the blog post as well. But there's some pretty cool ones in here. Ones that contain containers, and it's pretty cool. So I encourage you to go over and check that out. Mega buildings on the horizon, another one by Elevator World Unplugged, and these are 20 mega tall buildings by 2020. Man, I don't know how much taller we need to make these things, and I've said it before, is those that create and come up with these kind of designs, I think have the Napoleon, syndrome of inadequacy, perhaps. I'm a little guy, and I have no problem with inadequacy. Let's see here. Elevator phone emergency failure. John Fellon has got a video. I'm going to not click on that because I know it's going to play an ad. If you want to find out what he did to help get the elevator to run again. I'm not sure if this is actually something that most people do or that's advisable from a fixture manufacturer, but it seemed to work. So obviously you got people riding in elevators that have coffee, and his tip was basically there was 2 stuck buttons, the alarm button and the phone button. And looks like they're dupar buttons. Anyway, not that matters, but looks like he just put some oil in it and freed them up again. So that happens in my wife's car. Try to, steering wheel control, it's got the buttons for the radio and stuff. Well, 9 times out of 10, those things are like stuck. I'm like, oh man. So I'm going to try that when I get home. And the last article here is actually kind of a repost of a article we covered a while ago, actually, but it was reposted on May 16, 2014. And basically it's stating this is this poor woman that fell down an escalator. She looks awful. I mean, this is terrible. But apparently one of the handrails on the escalator at the First Ontario Center of Coops Coliseum wasn't working when an 87-year-old grandmother fell and suffered severe injuries. Geez. Awful. So anyway, I don't know where they're coming up with this this information, but obviously that was the case. Yeah, so they've done some investigation, but so you can kind of see that adding to the issue. But I don't know. I thought there was devices that would, if one handrail isn't going, it shouldn't just start. But I could be wrong on that. So anyway, yes, poor woman. Would not want that to happen to anyone. So, and that's going to pretty much do it for the show this week, everybody. I'm going to get into our random number generator, and we will find a winner for the May. Okay, we're going to find a winner for the May prize pack giveaway. I thought it was next week, but it's actually this week. So we got a $100 gift card from Visa, which is as good as cash in the bank. Be given away by some great companies that have also given away some goodies. They're giving goodies for our prize pack. Okay. Okay, winner 779, and 779 on our email list is, okay, it's John from California. John, you are an elevator mechanic. A lot of elevator mechanics listening to the program. You are the winner of our May 2014 prize pack giveaway. I'll be sending you an email shortly confirming your address and all that good stuff to send this to you. And as always, thank you for listening to the program. All right, everybody. Everybody have a great rest of the week. I hope it goes smoothly and fast for you. Be safe out there. Remember, that's number one rule in getting home each and every day. Share that safety with those that you work with, and that's about it. So have a great 3-day weekend. If you're working or on call on Monday, be careful. And that's about it, everybody. Have a great day, and be safe. Take care. Bye-bye.